In this tutorial, we'll cover how to create a hillshade for your digital elevation model. You can see this is the digital elevation model we've loaded already, and I want to highlight it, and I'll show you. I've already changed the colors, so let me change them back to what they were before. So this is the default color scheme, which I think is what your digital elevation model will look like. Just to make a good visualization, I wanted to change the color ramp to something that's a little more traditional for elevation, which would be, we could use this one. So high elevations will be browns, low elevations will be the dark blues. This works well for river channels and mountains because we expect the rivers to be wetter, mountains to be drier to some degree. It's just a visualization, and is a different option for looking at the data. So it's pretty much just a way to make a pretty picture. It doesn't matter which color ramp you use, but it does look fairly good. I'm going to right click on the elevation model and I'm going to look at the histogram. Okay, so the histogram here shows us the colors for the different elevations. 860 is brown and 790 is blue. So that makes a good visualization. Now for this tutorial, we're going to run what's called a hillshade. So you're going to come over here to your Tools tab, and it'll probably look like this. We're going to go to Terrain Analysis here. So you click on that, and then the tab we want is this Lighting Visibility tab. And we're going to double click Analytical Hill Shading. So we're going to, on the drop-down menu, we're going to select the 5-meter data set. And for elevation, we're going to choose the USGS elevation that we have. And we're going to accept the default settings. These have to do with where the sun is in the sky, etc., during the simulation of the hillshade. The idea is that when the sun is in the sky, it's going to cast shadows. And these shadows are going to be depicted by lighter and darker colors to indicate the shape of the landscape. So we'll accept all the default parameters and we'll say OK. So nothing changes, but you can see down here, analytical hill shading execution succeeded, so it worked. So to see the data, we come over to the Data tab, and I'm going to stretch this out a bit. So now we can see the original elevation model .hillshade there. So this was the original elevation model, and this is the new hillshade model. So we're going to double click the hillshade, and we're going to put it on the existing map. In my case, it says 32 there for the map. Your map number might be different, but select the map you want to add it to and say OK. So this is what a hillshade looks like. It gives you an intuitive sense of the texture of the landscape. Now, I like to change it a bit to make the hillshade transparent so you can see the original colors of the elevation model. So what we'll do is we'll highlight the hillshade over here. Then we'll come to the settings for the hillshade. And there's this setting called transparency. And we'll set that to 60. And then hit enter. And then SAGA doesn't actually do anything until you click this apply button. So now we've got the elevation depicted by the colors as before, and we've got a hillshade on top of it, which shows us some of the shadows in the landscape with a given sun angle. So that's how you do a hillshade.